Hi everybody. In this video I'm going to talk about how to get a variable expression or an equation. That means something with n or x if you have a pattern, a number pattern. And this is going to help you with all kinds of different problems on the project, but especially one of the early problems. So you're going to get a question something like, how are these two numbers related? And in math terms, that actually means something more specific than how are they similar. It really means what could I do to one to get the other? So, for example, if I have this set of numbers here, 5, 6, 7, and on the other side 10, 12, 14, you might think, oh, well, this is pretty easy. This is going up by 1, and this one's going up by 2. But I'm actually not interested in this pattern, but in the pattern going across. That is, how is 5 related to 10? How is 6 related to 12? How is 7 related to 14? And that really means, what could I do to 5 to get 10? And the same thing to 6 to get 12. The same thing for 7 to get 14. So now you might think, okay, I could add 5 and I would get 10, right? Can I add 5 to 6? Because it has to be the same thing. No. 6 plus 5 is 11, not 12. What could I do that's the same every time to get that column there? I could times it by 2. So 5 times 2 gets me the 10. 6 times 2 would get me the 12. And 7 times 2 would get me 14. The nice thing about seeing that pattern is if I ask you something that's pretty far up, like 15, I'm going to just erase my work here. If you were doing just the pattern going down, 5, 6, 7, you'd have to count all the way to 15 to figure out what this one is going to be that's related to the 15. But since we know that it doubles, that it's times 2, I'm going to do 15 times 2 to get my answer there. And now that helps me with, what if I have n or x or a variable? I'm going to imitate what I just did with the 15 to the n. So I'm going to put n where I see the 15, and then I'm going to copy the rest of it down. N times 2 is going to be my variable expression. And that's it. I'm done there. Now, in the project, there's some that are more complicated than that, where we now have to do a next thing with it. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But let's look at another pattern. So let's say that I have a pattern that's a little more complicated. What if I have, let's see. What if my next number here is 15, and this one's 16, and this one's 17, and this one's, whoops, I'm not going to say what that one is. So now think of what I do to the 5 to get 15, what I do to the 6 to get 16, and we're going to do the same thing to the 15. So you have to have the rule in mind. So take a moment to see if you can figure out what I do to get the one on the right. Again, you could just go down, 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 down. It adds 1 each time, right? But then it would take a lot of work to get what the pair up is with 15. Just going down, down, and having to count it. So let's go across. So think about it for a sec. If you need to, pause the video and really give yourself some thought. So this next one should be 25. How am I getting that? Because I'm adding 10. So 15 is 5 plus 10. 16 is the 6 plus the 10. 17 is 7 plus the 10. Whoops, equals. And so this is going to be 15 plus 10. We're just doing the same thing, which is 25. And this is going to be what? You're imitating it. Where you see 15, put n instead. Oh, next thing I see is a plus sign. Plus 10. That's it. No answer. You can't get an answer. The answer is not 10n. That's 10 times n. This is n plus 10. Okay, so now you get the idea. Now suppose it's a little more layered, and this is the width, like it is in one problem. There's one like this, and this is the length. So how am I going to get this final answer of the area, right? We know area is width times length. So how am I going to figure out that with the variables? So I know area is width times, whoops, let me put area here. Put the word area. So the area here would be 5 times 15. I don't really want to calculate it. Then this one, 6 times 16. 6 times 16, and so on, right? Let me skip one. This one is 15 times 25. So what's this one? Imitate what you just saw me do. You saw me take the 1 from the one column and then multiply times the 1 from the other column. So this one is going to be n times n plus 10. You don't even need that times, right? You could do it like this if you want to, look fancy, but you can put the times in if you want or not. So again, you're imitating what you see is going on. If I had a minus sign here, you would not. Area doesn't do minus. If there was a minus for some reason, you would put a minus between these two variable expressions. So you're just imitating what you see is going on. And that should help you with tons of different problems in the project. So you might want to watch this video again if you get stuck on another problem that has a variable in it. And you can remember, you can also ask your professor. That's fine too. See you later.